Men, what things do you enjoy that are typically considered girly? I use face masks and use skin treatment for my pores. I'm a regular on our skincare addiction. Nobody knows about my little secret though. When my wife is out of town and I have the night to myself, I will oftentimes take a long hot bath, maybe even with bubbles, use my wife's nice skincare products afterward, put on my bathrobe, and have a nice herbal tea while I watch old movies. My wife doesn't know I do this. I can't wait until the day my wife returns unexpectedly to find her husband spa-dayed the frick out, just chillin'. Tell her, I'm sure she would love to have a spa day with you sometime. I really love pore strips. My job can get greasy, and sometimes I'm working on a boat for weeks at a time, where I get covered in grease and rust on a daily basis. The most satisfying feeling was using a pore strip the day I got back. It was absolutely heavenly. My only plight is that I can never find them advertised for men, but the lady on the box always has great skin, so I don't mind. You can make your own, really cheap. Get a box of unflavored jello, add a teaspoon of milk, microwave for like 10 seconds. I like going to small towns that are big on wineries and artsy crap. I enjoy wine and walking around looking at stuff in shops. That more makes you French than girly. I got the list. I love to cook, bake, sew and knit. Pretty much every Sunday my daughters and I make muffins from scratch. I have made a few shirts and knitted several hats, scarves, gloves and slippers. More than a few times when I've done some knitting out in public, I've gotten some pretty crazy comments. FM, I enjoy it, and I feel good when I can give someone a very personal gift. Baths, I play hours of volleyball at a time and that wears down my entire body completely. Every time after volleyball I take a nice warm bath with a Gatorade by my side and it is the most soothing and relaxing thing. Man, if I could find a tub big enough, I'd love a good soak some days. Give a frick about my clothes matching. Sometimes I'll see something in a store and say something like, this would look great with my green shoes. My brother says something like, that's so gay. Whatever. Cargo shorts and Walmart t-shirt looking butt. I wear aprons that were my grandmother's when cooking. They make me think of her standing at the stove, preparing her excellent dinners. I don't care if they are for ladies, one of them even has honeybees and sunflowers. Aprons are like a jersey for cooking. When you put one on, it's game time, baby. My wife and I wear the same size clothes. If she buys a pair of pants that I think I can pull off, and that actually has pockets, you're goddamn right I'll wear 'em. I have an immense amount of respect for this post. I braid my hair. When alone and if I have time I can make all the basic braids, pigtails, French, Dutch, milkmaid, crown braids and so on. I know how to weave ribbons through my braids, flowers and other decorations. I braid my GF's hair and her friends. They think it is amazing. I don't think anyone has any idea I practice on myself. I'd really like to wear one of those German style dresses and have long braids, but that's another story. I take a nice long bath with bubbles and wine, sometimes champagne, to relax, usually about 1-2 times a year. I can see why girls are always having baths with bath bombs, candles, and wine. Maybe a book. It's very relaxing. I see it as a girly thing, but I ain't got no shame about it. I mean, I'm even a stereotypical bro, and I love my baths. Seriously, my name's Kyle. I drink Monster Energy. I ride dirt bikes LOL. Better to unwind that way than punch holes in the wall. Have feelings that I am comfortable acknowledging and sharing, as well as verbally expressing concern for my male friends. Often I hear don't be a P from my friends and male co-workers that I socialize with when I bring up feelings in any context. I'm not kidding. The majority men of my generation are not comfortable with their emotions or sharing their emotions thanks to being socialized away from them. It's a leading cause of middle-aged men becoming lonely, having no idea on how to address it, and then committing suicide. I had a hard time making male friends growing up because I'd always be told I was a P. It makes it really difficult to be yourself around others. Being able to cry my eyes out next to my partner whenever I feel really upset. It feels wonderful to open up like that and receive comfort, since being an impenetrable fortress is stereotypically manly. I want to thank all these guys for sharing. Please teach your kids it's not unmanly to take up these hobbies or have these small pleasures. Keep on being awesome. Crossing my legs whilst sitting. I do this too, and I'm surprised that I haven't gotten any crap for it. I've got 2 stuffed animals. They travel with me in my work backpack. I obviously don't run around showing them off, and they sleep in my bed. I'm 26. I know this is going to sound silly, but I really like pansies, the flower. Mom used to grow them every summer in front of our house when I was growing up, and those were some of my best years of life, so I have sort of a sentimental feeling about the colorful little buggers. Every time I go out drinking I get the girly cocktails while everyone else gets their super wheaty IPAs and whiskey on the rocks. I'm out to enjoy myself, not to burn my esophagus trying to prove my manliness. I don't judge guys that get fruity or sweet or the more typical girly drinks on a night on the P. They taste good, but after one they make my stomach hurt while I can drink whiskey all night and only pay for it the next day. Sitting down to pee. Nothing's better when you're half asleep. Fluffy pastel pillows and robes. Couples mani pedis are awesome. Panties are also quite comfortable just lounging around. Sometimes a silk nightie if the wife wants. Just last night I was wearing my wife's satin kimono. Awesome. I hate clothes shopping for myself, but I love shopping with girls for clothes. I can dress a woman 10,000 times better than I could ever dress myself, and I have a lot of fun doing it. I used to do a twice weekly gathering with a group of friends, but then one of the 2 days started to focus around MTG, which I have very little interest in, so while the guys were doing that I'd hang out with the host's wife. It started with her teaching me about shoes and just sort of went from there. Getting my nails done by someone versus chewing that crap off in traffic. Receiving flowers as a gift. I've only received flowers as a gift once for my birthday, but it was such a kind and genuine gesture. I think flowers are beautiful. I love giving them, and have been working on letting my friends or girl I'm dating know that I'd like flowers as a gift. Ladies, give your man a bouquet next special occasion. They'll probably love it. Probably my musical tastes. I like the movie Little Shop of Horrors, and also stuff like Gilbert and Sullivan. I've gotten crap for listening to Elton John and David Bowie before, although I also like a lot of more manly music. Elsewhere in the country, I might not stand out, but I live in the South. Elton and David are legends. Those people are wrong. I told one of my guy friends about a sale at Michael's, because I got a sweet deal on picture frames and I knew his apartment didn't have much in the way of decor. He told me never to mention a sale at a craft store to him again. Anyway, patriarchy is also bad for men and their ability to put their freaking pictures in affordable picture frames. He told me never to mention a sale at a craft store to him again. I thought you meant because he spent his whole freaking paycheck in there and now he has sweet decor. My favorite color is pink. It's not a girl color. My 16-year-old son's favorite color is pink. No, he's not gay, and no, he doesn't give a single crap if you think it's weird a teenage boy likes pink. I love his confidence. Grocery shopping, and I'm really picky at it too. I will look at 2 brands of bread for 5 minutes to make sure I make the absolute right decision. I once spent around 10 minutes clicking pens to make sure I found the perfect one. I love cute things and dislike sports. Cute things are my jam. I wear a crossbody bag and everyone calls it a purse. I could give less of a crap. I can take everything I need in it without needing a bulky book bag or loaded up cargo shorts. My fiancé harasses me about it, but not when she wants me to put her stuff in it. Must not live in a big city, since those are common for men. Commonly called messenger bags, depending how it looks, or if someone wants to be goofy, a merce. You'd never warrant a second glance here. I dislike sports. What kind of man are you has been said to me several times when I mention it. Sometimes I follow up with I don't care if the ball went that way. I never liked sports and couldn't understand why my buddies wanted to watch them or how they knew so much about the players, coaches, rules, and drafts. It wasn't until I started playing Super Smash Bros and began watching the pros on Twitch did it click for me that this must be how people who watch sports feel about them. Cuddling up with my girlfriend. I know it's not overly girly, but how many guys say they actively looking forward to snuggling up with their partners when they finish work? Painting my finger toenails is fun AF. I also love wearing leggings. They are so dang comfortable. I get jealous of all the skirts and dresses and general clothing variety women get. Male clothing options are so boring. 100% straight BTW. I mean, it's not like you can't get some skirts and dresses for yourself, even if you're straight. Possibly just in the comfort of your own home if you're afraid of what others think. In the right size, super comfy. Designing women's clothing is actually quite fun. Men's clothing is boring to make because it's generally all the same. Pants are pants, regardless of fabric. Button-ups are button-ups. Underwear and undershirts aren't worth making because they're pretty cheap anyway. Plus, a lot of men's clothing has exposed, accented stitching. Think of the stitching on the rear pockets of jeans. So your sewing has to be extraordinarily precise in order for the piece of clothing to come out well, because it is exceedingly obvious when it isn't. Women's clothing, on the other hand, has a lot more options for hidden seams, so you can get away with a bit more there. But more than that, it's just more fun to make in general. I had a girlfriend years ago before I moved who let me make dresses and skirts for her, and she loved it. They turned out great. I mean, who could ask for anything more than a custom-made fitted dress in whatever design you wanted? Interestingly enough, women's clothing contains so much more structure than men's, largely due to curves around the breasts and hips, whereas men's clothing is often designed to be as angular and straight as possible. So yeah, making clothing is fun. And although it's typically considered girly, the majority of fashion designers and creative leaders in the clothing industry are men. And I mean that literally. Unfortunately, I haven't made any clothing recently, but I've kept busy with a few bags here and there, made a quilt for a family member having a kid, etc. Fun stuff. It all actually stemmed from restoring old Singer machines. I loved the engineering behind them, and they were exceedingly easy to fix once you knew how they worked, so I'd buy them off of Craigslist cheap, put a bit of work into them and get them working really well, then sell them for a small profit. Eventually I found some I really liked, so I kept them and started sewing. Fun stuff. Oh, and none of that has anything to do with my job. I'm a scientist by trade. It's really sad that many men are mentioning cooking baking girly when there are a lot of top chefs, male cooks, bakers, pastry chefs etc. than women. And knowing how to cook a few recipes is a very basic thing every adult should know how to do. I'm sorry that you guys have been told that it's not a valid skill for men to have. I have a 4-foot tall teddy bear, a 16-inch pink penguin plushie, a plushie of a golden retriever puppy and one of a rabbit. And they are all so fluffy. Purple is a nice color. Pastels and unicorns are adorable. Women's deodorant, shampoo, and conditioner. The saying goes, boys think they smell like teens. Teens think they smell like men. Men smell like women. Female here. Don't know if this counts. My husband and a close male friend of ours enjoy playing female characters in video games. Some people think it's weird, but their reasoning is an interesting one. They have both told me that in most video games they notice that the females get better clothing options and are also easier on the eyes. They rather have a nice character to look at. I play video games as well and have never noticed this. Once they pointed it out to me, I started to see where they were coming from. The females have much more interesting clothing options and good body types. Sitting down to pee. Fight me if you think it's wrong. Way easier to avoid that limp drip of pee when you reholster. And honestly, I think everyone could do with a little more time to reflect on things. All kinds of things. I wear dresses and skirts sometimes, and panties on a daily basis. When I lift at the gym, I wear women's leggings. I shape and paint my nails every weekend. I remove hair from my legs. I have a couple purses. I was subject to extreme and ongoing emotional and verbal abuse throughout my childhood. I have been deeply alone ever since. I spent a lot of time in therapy extinguishing toxic sexual shame, and in the process discovered curiosities I'd always stifled. Doing girly stuff makes me feel a little less lonely. Sometimes it turns me on. I gradually became more accepting of these desires and more open in my expression of them, by signaling femininity as a man. I am asserting my right to do what makes me happy even when other people think it's weird. That, to me, is an expression of masculinity. My heart tells me that I should settle for nothing less than a woman who fully embraces this manliness via girliness. My heart is occasionally foolish and will have to compete with my desperation. But if someone were to truly get this part of me, she'd probably have the kind of open mind that would attract and fascinate me too. And we might then have the start of something special. Crossing my legs while sitting, but like, the whole way. Thigh over thigh, not ankle over knee. Something about that stretch, dude. I imagine it's the same reason women like to get home and spread their legs wide open. They don't do it all day, so it feels good. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.